Hey YouTube, Natchez 860. Smoking Fusilier's ration in the Friday 7LE. Back around January, I got a private message. Actually, I got a couple of private messages. Asking for advice on first pipes, first tobaccos, and pipe cleaning. And I was gonna do buying your first pipe video, and while I was developing that, Birdman Alex had the same situation come up, and he made the video, did a great job. The more I thought about it, the Dagners have done a fantastic video on buying your first pipe. Stogie Farts did one, I think. As the weeks went by, I figured maybe I could still make a video and just put my own spin on it. I've acquired enough pipes, so I think I can speak with some sort of first-hand knowledge. I think the biggest thing to remember about pipes, there are no guarantees. There are a lot of variables. However, as I said in a discussion on Facebook one night, let's not get too wrapped up in whether a pipe is good or not, because you've got a bowl, you've got a stem, and you've got an airway. Put the tobacco in here, you light it, it burns, you smoke. Not to say there's not more to it, but got to keep things in perspective. So the gist of this message that I got about buying the first pipe was, the person said, you know, I've heard some people suggest that you get a corn cob first, and corn cobs are great. And I did a video very early on about my corn cobs. The person went on to say that you know, it wasn't quite as sexy as buying a Stanwell or a Dunhill or a Savinelli. However, there are pipers out there that collect nothing but corn cobs. So don't discount those as a way to start the hobby. Another pipe that gets a bad rap every once in a while, actually there's a couple in the same class, Dr. Graybo's. K-Woodies, Yellow Bowls, Medicos. These were the pipes that got our granddad started, and I think because, you think about a Graybo and it was sold in a drugstore on a display, that maybe it's not that great. But I really started out my collection with these things, and Medicos, Yellow Bulls. Again, it's a pipe. It's got a bowl, it's got a stem. You put the tobacco in, you light it. I have had some fantastic experiences with this particular Graybo, as well as a number of my other ones. But again, there's no guarantee. I'm going to jump to a Petersen. I had to have this pipe just because I love the look of it. And I had had a Petersen before, and I knew all about the reservoir down in the bottom of the shank. That pipe just didn't do it for me as far as the smoking went. And I've told this story before. It always seemed to smoke too wet. One day I happened to be out in the yard with it, lost track of what I was doing. I must have smoked 5 bowls out of it. Great bowls. And I totally forgot that I was smoking it. So that kind of leads me into another area of, I should do a video just on this sometime. The psychology of smoking the pipe. I can guarantee that if I give you just about any pipe and you haven't had a smoke for a couple hours or days, if that's what you're used to, and I put you in a nice location, that pipe's going to give you the best smoke you ever had. No matter whether it's a Dunhill, a Savinelli, or a corn cob, or some piece of junk that's practically glued together. So a seemingly ratty pipe can become a terrific smoker depending on what your frame of mind is. Basket pipe. This is made in Czechoslovakia. Probably, I'll put this right up there with my Savinellis. Gives me a great smoke every time. Unbelievable. Betcha I paid $30 for this thing. Never discount the basket pipes. A lot of them are only basket pipes because they got a putty fill in them, or for whatever reason the maker just decided he didn't want to take that pipe any further. On the subject of seconds or rejects, this is a Peterson Reject, which came along with a pipe stand I bought. Didn't think much of it. I cleaned it up. Smoked a few bowls out of it. I was wishy-washy about it. Wasn't bad, it wasn't great. put some 5100 red cake in it one day. Long story short, you can believe this if you want or not, but this pipe smokes Virginias like no other pipe I have. Burley's, not a terrible smoke, but it's not the greatest either. So you never know what you're going to get. The most important point, I guess, talking about pipes, is the engineering of them. Something that's kind of difficult to tell when you're sort of under the pressure of buying the pipe, or if you're buying one online and you can't see it. And it all has to do with how that airway lines up in the bowl. It should be square into the bowl and resting on the bottom. Otherwise, you're going to end up with unburned tobacco or whatever. The size of that draft also is important. Another thing that you learn after you get a few pipes. A lot of my pipes, I've made that draft hole bigger just because that's the way I like it. And yet I have probably a pipe or two that has too small of a draft. I keep them that way just because I like that for change of pace. So I guess my last bit of advice: talk to as many people as you can, get as many opinions as you can. But remember, pipe is just a bowl, an airway, and a stem. Thanks an awful lot for watching. Have a great weekend.